Welcome back to another brand new episode of 101 Talks WWE 2K15. And on this one, guys, if you didn't already know, there was a ton of hands-on previews released today containing all sorts of new information on the game. Some of it's stuff we have heard previously, like gameplay mechanics, general improvements and that kind of stuff. And I will be linking as many previews as I could find. I'll be putting those in the description below so you guys can check them out in full. But on this video, we're going to quickly go over some of the more noteworthy bits I have read via the articles, and a lot of this stuff is going to be a bit more brief just because there isn't too much information featured on most bits of information. So I've basically got it in a bullet point format, so let's get straight into it. Firstly, John Laurinaitis is confirmed to be part of the Money in the Bank 2011 match featuring John Cena and CM Punk. So if for whatever reason you're a fan of John Laurinaitis, good news, he appears to be on the game. I did say I wasn't going to go into improvements too much, but just a quick note on the crowd this year. It is said it is significantly improved, contains more crowd models, the crowd take pictures, and there are even children in this year's crowd. In 2K15, it is said you can now climb to the second rope to deliver moves such as Bret Hart's second rope elbow drop. That's not to say Bret Hart is confirmed, that was just the example given, though I definitely would expect to see Hart in the new game. One of the 2K guys answered a question on if there was going to be any real-time updates in relation to superstar attires from real life to the new game. He answered by saying maybe not on 2K15, but that is something they are definitely looking into. It is said 90% of this year's roster has been scanned, so I'm guessing that remaining 10% is going to be made up of deceased legends who they obviously cannot scan, but no news yet on who those legends potentially might be. Sliders have been confirmed for this year's game, or at the very least the stamina slider. So guys, whilst we can't turn stamina completely off, it can at least be adjusted via the sliders, and it is also noted all the HUDs and displays in this year's game can again be turned off. The next point is related to the new chain grappling system. It is said despite that system coming into play in the early stages of a match maybe 2 or 3 times, it is said if you're a wrestler such as the Big Show, so assuming by that it's going to be super heavyweights, those wrestlers won't actually have to do the chain wrestler minigame. Noting that those wrestlers don't do that in real life, so won't be doing that on the game. So another example of the realism introduced into this year's game. So again guys, it seems the super heavyweights such as the Big Show won't have to do the chain grappling minigame. A note now on the controls, and the only change I could see from all the articles was that R1 or RB on the Xbox now switches between stored finishers and stored signatures. Catapult Finishers have been confirmed for 2K15, though no new ones have been announced yet. Quite a few of the articles also mentioned about CM Punk not being scanned in this game, and most of the articles again note his model isn't quite up to scratch in comparison to the other featured wrestlers, which is a bit of a blow for CM Punk fans, but in saying that guys, I'm sure his model can't be that bad. But good news now if you're a fan of JBL, because it is said JBL has recorded commentary for 2K15, though his commentary lines were not present in the available build that all these hands-on previews were based on, but still it is noted, apparently JBL has recorded lines for the game. And finally, good news now if you're a fan of the Creative Wrestler feature. Whilst no details have been revealed, it is said there is something special planned for that feature in 2K15. So hopefully we'll get some more details on that soon, but that is hinting there should at least in theory be some nice improvements for CAWs in 2K15. And that is it guys, that is all the stuff I've noted down from today's previews. For a lot of the previews, they all noted about the gameplay, how it's improved, and all the realism and all that kind of stuff. Obviously, we know most of that already, so I haven't gone into too much detail on that in this video. But like I said, if you do want to read the articles in full, I will be linking as many of those previews as I can find in the description below. But for what we have covered in this video, aside from the CM Punk not being scanned situation, all good news, so more positive signs for the new game, and a big thumbs up from me. But do let me know guys your thoughts on today's pieces of revealed information as a comment in the comment section below. As always, I'll be back very soon with another new episode of 101 Talks 2K15, so stay tuned for that. But until next time, this has been 101. and I will see you all on the next one.